Good morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kurojiri, your resident Tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now this week, as we crest into week 2 of the Transformers and Beast Wars collaboration with Medarot, it seems that we're off to a pretty solid, albeit shaky start in terms of gacha pulls, but we still have lots of very fun-looking models, lots of great models coming in, and a lot, and I mean a lot, of fantastic rewards that are still yet to be reaped and collected by the players. This week, we decided to travel back in time and maximize the absolute profits and the collections with all the resources that we can collect and earn through the first half of the second wave of the event, starting of which they'll line up with Optimus Primal leading the charge. That being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was announced for this weekend. Even though it wasn't a whole lot in terms of collab as a whole, it still does have a lot of really exciting pieces of news and lots of rewards to be had. Starting the lineup on the Gacha banners, of course, is Optimus Primal himself at TFM01 Kong Primal, with a kit of Hyper Beam, double anti-effect, flight legs, and the leg ability of Barrage. Now, Kong Primal is introducing 2 new skills as well, much like Prime Truck did as well. And to explain the 2 new skills briefly, anti-effect is basically like a more aggressive form of effect clear, but instead of forcibly removing the effects for any positive buffs checked on the target, you instead just deal multiplicative punish damage while they still get to retain their buffs. So this will be a really good way to counteract and even curb anyone using stuff like Stat Cleanse, Guard Boost, Dominion, Cybercore, or so on. Primal is going to be putting a very swift end to that the more buffs they have. Or, putting it another way, will be the absolute bane and menace of anyone that capitalizes on leg ability Holy Grace. Now, as always, those that do know that of what Optimus Primal is capable of, he can maximize and meta change into a gorilla-based form, exchanging his kit out for Disaster, Power Hammer, Blow Away, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Adapter, which gives him very solid coverage across pretty much any terrain he's on, and will also boost and widen the amount of the ability of variety he has on the field, no matter what terrain he's fighting on. In addition, we also have a rerun of everyone's favorite iconic ninja type, NIN0 Nin Ninja, with the kit of Tornado, Double Sword, Biped Legs, and a leg ability of Mirage. Now, Nin Ninja also is capable of TP, or tune-up points, which means that you can boost him up and upgrade him into an even nastier game potential that he brings to the table. Not 100% sure why or how he fits in the whole Beast Wars theme with animals that's ongoing, but he is still a very openly welcomed model all the same to have in the Gacha banners. Now, we are still having Gal Gal Marmo, who is representing Rat Trap, and Prime Trucks to stick around for another week. So, if you find that either of these models really don't tickle your fancy and you're going after Prime Truck, which is essentially what I'm really doing more than anything else, then you still have access to those models to collect as well. In addition to these 2, we also have reruns of 2 other very fitting themed models for the first half of the Beast Wars version side of the collab. That lineup starting us up is STG02 Machairodus, with a kit of Head Trap, Assassin, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Nest. Now, as you see here, Machairodus is also getting in on the fun with his own custom skin that can be redeemed in the convenience store for diamond currency, which gives him the appearance and look of the legendary Cheetor from the Beast Wars series. And honestly, I thought the Rat Trap skin that we got last week was a very unique way of putting it, especially because Gal Gal Marmo is one of those really strange models that no one really honestly can take seriously with how silly it looks. But the Cheetor skin for Machairodus looks amazing. The color scheme with the very saturated colors, of course, which is iconic of Cheetor, but the head crest right there and the cheetah theme on his chest, beautifully well done. I'm looking forward to collecting that skin to have and hold on to. In addition to Machirius, we also have RAN-01 Rhino Dash, playing the fray of the iconic Rhinox in the Beast Wars series, with a kit of Pile, Double Guard 500, Wield Legs, and the leg ability of Adversity. And honestly, they really could not pick anyone else better to represent Rhinox in this case, given the kind of heavy bulk and protection power that he brings to the table, especially with Adversity, which makes him a little faster and more resistant the more negative buffs that are applied to him. Now, as mentioned, the Machirius skin will be available in the convenience store, so if you do have diamond currency on hand from gacha pulls, or earn any from previous events, that'll be where you collect it. Now, as a friendly reminder, buying the skin does not get you the bot. It just means that you have access to the skin to look at and sit pretty in your libraries until you actually have it. So that does mean if you want to make use of the skin on the field, you will still unfortunately have to pull for Machirius. Of course, that means the skin does have priority over the parts, because Machirius is always welcome to pop in pretty much any time that they do see fit. Whereas other models such as Kong Primal and Prime Truck will of course be gone once they disappear for good. With the Fierce Battles we have this week, it is still kind of carrying on with that Primal themed Beast War scene that we have seen up to this point. Starting that lineup, of course, is the ever iconic Rhino type RAN-0 Rhino Rush, with a kit of Guard 500, Double Missile, Tank Legs, and the leg ability of Super Armor. Behind him, we have HPP-01 Hippopotensia, the Hippopotamus type, with the kits of Conceal, Double Break Hammer, Wield Legs, and the leg ability of No Guard for absolute and raw offense the moment she hits the field. And then last but not least, GRM-0 Wild Ukon, the Wrestler type, with the kit of Rifle, Double Hammer, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Radiator. Now, between the three models here, it honestly is kind of tough to choose an MVP of the week, because all of them have something that they can bring to the table that makes them worthwhile. Rhino Rush with Tank Legs and Super Armor is a very nice combo to make use of, even if speed is most certainly not on his side. Given the stackable defense buff that was given to Tank Legs a good number of months ago, that does end up bringing a lot of viability to Rhino Rush to the table. In addition to this, Hippopotensia also is very good for Break Hammer for female bots if you do need it, and Wild Ukon for basic rifle and hammer attacks also is nice to have on hand, just in case you need them, especially now that with Silent Leader officially being implemented into the game, hammer and AoE type moves now have a lot of viability, more than they ever did before. That being said, I still would have to give MVP of the week to Hippopotensia specifically, primarily because Break Hammer has much more viability than Tank Legs with Super Armor, or even the more viable and all-round kit that Wild Ukon brings to the table. That's not saying that you shouldn't collect the other two, but definitely put a little more time into Hippopotensia if you are looking for one to raise and hold onto. Now, as always, much like we did last week with Prime Truck, we are getting a Wave 2 Super Invasion to join the fray, this time featuring Kong Primal and the specialized profile banner and nameplate geared toward him, but you can also earn the ever-iconic 10 rubies and 10 Cyplasium upon completion. Now, if they follow the same pattern as it was for Prime Truck, Kong Primals is likely going to be the same case of just overclocked medals, easy in and out in 20 minutes. You really can't ever go wrong with free rubies, especially if you do find yourself really struggling with the gacha banners for these last 2 weeks, because meta change models are rather unforgiving, unfortunately, when it comes to gacha pulls, as you either pull them or you don't, unlike other models where you can at least have the possibility of earning a part, even if it isn't the full set. Now, much like we also had last week, we are also getting the introduction of daily missions geared around the event and the Super Invasion. Now, these are honestly really easy things to do. Complete the event, do the Super Invasion, or at least attempt it anyway. So, it's really just a free opportunity to earn a lot more ruby shards and the specialized gacha tickets they have at their disposal. The pool for those specialized tickets is pretty nice, and it would be encouraged that you do collect those just to have and hold on to, and just make sure you use them before the event ends, because once it's gone, so do those free opportunities for gacha pulls. With the event itself, much like it was with Week 1, this week we will be going into Week 2, Wave 1 of the first half of the collab. Now, much like I guess last week, this will be a 2-part week, kind of rounding out the Weeks 2 and 3 with Primal and Megatron as expected. But this week in particular, we have the opportunity to earn even more rewards to stack on the ones we already earned. This time around, we have access to earn Medarot Tsurume in a black Arachnia outfit and cosplay. R rank, of course, for those that are paying attention or in need of that. We have access to the Gorilla Medal with a mastery in melee, shooting, and healing, with leg masteries in biped, multi, and flight. And also, power natures are also nice to have and hold on to, especially for your more aggressive right from start models that you need on the field. We also have access to a second profile banner, as you see here, featuring Kong Primal, of course, and we have access to more rewards such as gacha tickets, diamonds, and many more rubies and resources to collect to top off anything that you have been falling short on. So of course, it is always encouraged that you prioritize events more than anything until you collect all the rewards you can. And on topic of how to complete this event specifically, as I suspected last week with how it behaves, it is going to be a ticket-based event, this week highlighting on the red and the gold tickets respectively. That means that it will be mixed parts encouraged if you are going to attempt it and collect the rewards. That means essentially if you do manage to collect Kong Primal as an example, that is a +3 bonus for every part of him used across the team. Don't use him as a full set because that's actually how you cut yourself short on bonuses. Whereas Prime Truck and Machiridus will give you a +1 each. Gal Gal Marmo, Ninja, and Rhino Dash will give you a +3 for the red tickets. Interestingly enough, not sure why they chose One Stroke here as the +2 in this instance. Still kind of scratching my head over why they had Shisaku 2 for last week's as well with the event, but I guess that's really not a question for me more than anything else. And of course, the Fierce Battles at a +1 each for the red tickets. And then same can be said for the Medarotters, SR, Karen, and Kaoru at +3 each, and +1 for Main and Tsurume specific to this event. Whereas with the red tickets, Arase and Hisaki, SR ranks at +3, and the N or R ranks at +1 or +2 respectively, for Arase, Hisaki, or Tsurume. Now on the community front, with all the game stuff aside, we are still always looking for translators to assist us with any translation projects or passion projects and endeavors. Right now, we do have a lot of effort and time going towards Medarot 3, which has been making a lot of incredible progress in leaps and bounds. There is still a lot of text that needs translated, though. That being said, if you are able to assist, whether that means you are able to grab a few lines of code and translate them and then put them back into the group project to be reinserted, or if you are able to help out with some crowdfunding to help commission some of the leftover text, I will include a link to various crowdfunding links to that below in the comments, where you can look into that and donate where you need. Because if we can't translate, we really can't learn the full stories as to what happened. And after Medarot 3 is finished, they've already started work on Medarot 4, just with the decompiling process and just to kind of see where we're at on that. But if Medarot 3 is any determiner of that, Medarot 4 is going to be an even bigger beast to handle, primarily because, and to my surprise and interest, the reason why there's so much text in the game is because the actual Medarot NPCs and through story have so many different personalities that are implemented and shown through the story progression and gameplay. So there's a lot of text that needs clean, and we just don't have the hands for it. That being said, though, again, if you are knowledgeable in coding or cleaning or Japanese, or would love to donate to the efforts and help see it done faster, definitely reach out to us or join our Discord in the link provided also below. We can get you in touch with the right people to fill you in on what has been done and what still needs done up to this point. Now, instead of doing the weekly art highlights here on the MNN, this week I chose to actually highlight the submissions that we received for the PRB Ori Meta Summer Contest of 2023. And to preface, I am incredibly happy to see event participation and submissions that were sent in. I am a little disappointed that we didn't quite get as many submissions as we did, say, last year when we had the other one. So I am a little bummed about that, but I'm not mad or upset at anybody. I think it's probably just bad timing on the community end, and that if that's my fault, I do apologize for that, folks. But I am planning to try to host another one here sometime soon. I will, of course, put an announcement here on my Twitter personally and in the Discord group as well, and keep you guys posted on what that is and when the rules do come around. But that being said, with the art highlights here, the entries that we did receive, starting of course with the Golux over here with their model of Umi Tripper. And just before I go on, I do also want to preface and say, initially I did start off with saying that the contest had a summer fun theme to it. So a lot of models there did kind of pitch from that, and later on I did remove the motive prompts. So that if some of them don't quite make sense or fit in, that's particularly why. But as you see here, summer fun definitely there with the floaty and the beach ball. The watermelon, of course, with the rod. Also fantastic nods to summer fun, especially in Japanese culture. Fried food and cold food as well on both arms. Definitely themes of summer fun you really can't ever go wrong with, especially with the watermelon splitting as you see there. Then we also have this piece here by Twitter user Navaldeus, or Navaldius, if I do hope I did pronounce either of those correctly, with their design of gelato, designing based on the iconic Ice Cream Man or Shaved Ice design, which is very unique. We actually have not seen something of that particular design. We've had ice types, Snow Fenrir, Aurora Queen, or even models just based around ice in general, but not ice cream per se, unless you maybe count Dip from Navi, but that's still kind of a stretch to me, honestly. But wonderful design there, and I love the little arts you put on the side there for showing how it behaves. Wonderful work to you as well. Also our user Drake Baku here, who designed Gorgon Snake. And when I first looked at this design, I couldn't help but kind of think of Magdana Snake from Medarot 2, or even from Max Snake here, which I can probably guess a little bit of that inspiration came from, but still kind of stands out as its own unique thing with the snake arms, as entire snake arms, and not mix of a snake and a hand. So wonderful design there, and I love the blend of shade that you put with that as well, with the color. Wonderful work to all three of you in this case, and I'm so happy to see all these entries there. In addition to these three, we also had two more entries that were submitted for the contest. This one here by our friend Mir, who designed Kiton, a Kitsune Shrine type, or Shrine Guardian type that can transform into a Fox type form as well. Lots of fire and heat involved, and very nice creative design as well. I like the design and the emphasis you put on the different part names and the drives, or even just what kind of masteries or color schemes it has, and even the specialized metal there in the corner that I tried to make sure I couldn't cover all the way when putting it on the slide. Wonderful work to you. And also our other friend Greedy Gansel, or Gansel, with their design of Seagrass Witch. Another design that was pretty early on before I removed the Summer Fun motif prompt. Very unique design. They also made a comment to say this was the second heavy type model that they designed here for a theme, but it still came out really, really nice. And I like the blended colors that you included with it as well, kind of adding to that theme and prompt of seagrass in this case, just being kind of a messy clump that you pick up more than just one or two strands just kind of floating around in the seawater. So wonderful work to the entries that we did have. Since we only had 5 entries, I really don't think I'm going to be able to pick 3 as a top, and I'll only have to pick one big entry that would be the winner of it. But I will take this week and deliberate those, and then next week I will officially announce a winner here on the show as well, and highlight that art piece one more time. So again, thank you for participating, and definitely stay in touch with us through our Discord if you want to keep in touch on when the next contest does end up going live. But with all that being said, I do believe that covers everything for this week here on the MNN. Like I said, not a whole lot of new stuff that's going around this week, but mostly because we already kind of had an idea of what's coming. Mostly just a lot of details and specifics around how events are going to handle. But still, all the same, lots of fun rewards, lots of fun events, and another new model of the collab to join the fray. But with that being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page, or the Metabots Forever community on there, that I also run and manage. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below, and that's where you'll keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new merchandise, fan art, projects, updates to projects, my weekly episodes, or even just anything I want to communicate and connect with more fellow Medarotters across the world in general. That's the first place you'll be able to connect and hear about anything before it goes anywhere else on any other Medarot communities. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided. You can also reach out to me on Twitter at IsagameKura. So if you have any questions or feedback or comments, or would love just to stop in and say hello, I leave my DMs open for that very reason. So don't be a stranger, stop on in and say hi, and I'll get to you when I can. In addition, if you are a streamer, VTuber, or YouTuber and would love to collaborate, whether that means having you here on my channel as a guest host, or me stopping in on yours for a friendly chat or a game, I would absolutely love to coordinate with you. So feel free to reach out to me, and we can definitely make something happen and coordinate some schedules and see what we can make happen with a game or a guest host or whatever, because I would love to start hosting more guest stars and guest hosts on my channel, even if they may not be Medarot masters or experts, or even just want to learn the series fresh. I would love to be able to coordinate stuff in the future and have more friends on here. speaking of friends, definitely give these wonderful friends of mine a follow as well. VTuber Mecha Desperado, or Mecha Des as she likes going as on her channel. I have not connected with her in a while, but it is still nice to see that she does Medarot content every here and there. Just fairly recently, she just finished doing a little bit of a spiel on Medarot Duel, which was the action platformer that was on the 3DS, and wonderful designs on there, especially if you like those action type games. Medarot Duel and Girls Mission are definitely there for you. And the wonderful personality that is Mecha Des is always a wonderful addition to see in any feeds or any YouTube trends or Twitter trends as well. Definitely give them a follow. And on the topic of collaboration, I actually was able to stop in and grace Vector Spacemans at the space station once again, the harbor station last week. Pretty much a day after I recorded, actually, and we got to finish our tail end of playing Biped together, which was a 3D platformer where we only had our legs to move and grab things, and had to cooperate to solve puzzles. Very chaotic, fun times. It was an absolute blast both the first time and the second, and I absolutely cannot wait for the next time that I do get to stop in on the harbor station again and say hi to Vector. But if you are going to go say hi to Vector yourself, stop in a stream, or say hello to him on Twitter, tell him old Kura sent you, and we can definitely try to make something happen again with another collab or group game in the future. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping by, just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.